This podcast is intended for adults 18 years and older. It contains explicit language and sexual situations. All thoughts and opinions expressed are of our own and not of those of any specific group, employer, or individual, and is not intended to take as professional advice.
Welcome to the Foreplay Podcast. Join the journey, experiences, and sexual adventures of two high school sweethearts navigating through the swinging lifestyle as millennials. Come along for the ride. Dare to play?
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Foreplay Podcast. It's Bella.
This is Jase.
Guess what time it is?
Story time, anticipation.
It really is what I was going to say.
Actually?
I was going to say it's story time, but not in the High School Musical. That was better. I was just going to sing story time.
That's good, too. I like that, too. You know, the crazy thing about these story times is, this is a Bliss story time. As of recording this, it's almost February. 2 months later, we've been trying to film this podcast, and it was crazy. Around a week after we got off Bliss, Bella had a cold. I got a little bit of a cold. I was fine. That turned into bronchitis for you. You couldn't talk for 3 weeks. Finally got better. We're home for around a week and a half. We didn't want to do anything because we were finally recovered. And then you got some crazy flu type thing.
Which we got the flu shot too. So it's like whatever the respiratory virus that was pretty much everybody got. Like so many people got sick this January, February, or I guess December, January.
Yeah. So after 3 weeks of you being sick, 2 weeks of you being sick, the third week completely recovering, your voice is finally back. Because you lost your voice with that too.
And it wasn't losing my voice. Every time I talked, I coughed.
Yeah.
So it just like tickled every time. And this entire time, somehow, Jase didn't get sick when I was sick.
Take care of you.
Yeah, that's it. That was it.
And then the day that Bella goes, you know what? I finally feel like I'm 100%. We went to the movies. I came home from the movies. I was like, I don't feel like I'm feeling very good. It has now been 2 weeks of me being sick. My voice finally came back. I finally stopped coughing, basically. So we've been trying to film these podcasts for literally 2.5 months now.
I know, it's been crazy.
But we're finally both feeling better. I would say I'm good 90% back to where I'd like to be, and you're 100%. And that's really great because it's been a slow beginning to the year.
And if any of you guys out there had that same sickness, I am so sorry that you guys had to deal with that too, because it was not a fun one. I have not felt that sick in years. It was the chills and the body aches and
the
coughing.
fever, the coughing,
oh my gosh,
the restless nights, the everything hurting. I couldn't move. I was tired looking. I couldn't think. I remember I tried to play Wordle one day. I couldn't think. I literally couldn't think. I was like trying to play the game. I was like, this is stupid. I couldn't figure out a 5-letter word.
Yeah, it was bad. But we are feeling better now, and we're going to share a sexy story time with you guys. Like Jay said earlier, this happened on a Bliss Cruise in 2024. You know how we like to do the lore behind everything before we move into the actual sexy part, right? Because I think that's an important part.
It's like porn. You have to build the story.
We're not trying to do it like porn. I
just kidding.
Find it interesting.
I actually really enjoy the backstory of something. Like if someone tells me a story, the sexy part is fun, but like I like knowing that background myself as well. So I think it's fun. So anyway, so the first couple, we're going to call them Carmen and Jasper. You have heard podcasts with them before. We met them on a Bliss Cruise a few years. They were actually the first people who ever booked Bliss Cruise through us. I remember it so clearly. And we met them and we became really, really good friends. And then we've continued that friendship.
But it's been like 2 years since we've seen them last because we had to miss out on Bliss Cruise in 2023 because we were out of the country for the year. And so we didn't get to see them then. And they also live outside of the country too. So we hardly ever get to see each other. Well, no, we actually never get to see each other. The only time we get to see each other is Bliss Cruise. So we were so excited to see them again and hang out with them again. But they were actually friends with this other couple who the story is also about. And we are going to name them Chris and Molly. So Chris and Molly and Carmen and Jasper were friends from the Bliss Cruise that we missed out on. And so this is our first time ever meeting Chris and Molly.
We met Chris and Molly on day one with Carmen and Jasper. We went to watch DJ Life of Spice just do a little set kind of out by the pool, and we met them then and just talked for a while. They were super nice, super sweet people, and it was just very easy to talk to them, just very casual and fun. I feel like I talked to him a lot that day, but I didn't talk to Molly quite as much. I feel like I got to know her more like the next day, but I feel like I talked to Chris quite a bit that day.
And then the next couple days, it was more just in passing. I feel like we hung out and talked to each other. We didn't get to know each other as much. And again, we already know Carmen and Jasper pretty dang well, like really, really good friends with them. And so it wasn't until day 3 or so. This was the superhero night, which was really fun because I was Chun-Li and Jase was Raven from Teen Titans. And it was a really fun theme, and just seeing all the costumes were really fun. That was the night that there was that Deadpool who was so in character and was the most perfect Deadpool.
Yeah. You guys haven't heard Bliss highlights. We talk about that podcast. It was an awesome costume. But there were so many fun costumes that night. And
Carmen, so I don't know if you know this. Well, you didn't know until it actually happened. But Carmen brought 2 costumes.
Oh, yes.
And then she said she had a Shiko costume and a Raven costume. And I was like, oh my gosh. You should be, and she was like, I don't know which one I want to be. And I was like, you should be Raven because Jase is Raven. But then don't tell him, like, don't say that you're going to be him. And so then whenever we come and we meet up with everybody, he can be surprised.
I was surprised. And then we took one of those pictures that was like the Spider-Man meme where everyone's pointing at each other like, you look like me and I look like you.
Yeah.
I was
so funny.
I was super surprised. That night was just really fun. We started off in Dazzles, which was like the smaller nightclub because Mike and Lily were doing a party game. And so we kind of spent some time talking to everyone, hanging out there. And then
the party games were so
super fun.
We didn't participate, but just being a watcher of the party games is really fun. So
a voyeur, if you will.
Yeah, a voyeur.
All those party game exhibitionists.
They had games where the ladies put a cup in between their boobies, and then people had to throw ping pongs into them. And one of our friends, oh my God, I had no idea how big her titties actually were.
I knew they were
big, whipped them out, and I was like,
yeah.
Holy mother. It was crazy. But it was
massive.
So fun watching. Oh, and did they do the twerking game? They did so many fun little games.
I don't know what game they did that night, but it was super fun.
And we were on the top floor, or like the second floor, so you could just look over and see everyone. Oh, and we had some other friends who were the Power Rangers.
Yeah.
And that was really cute because they were all different color Power Rangers. What did they say together? They had not a chant, but it was, when you
like
put
it's
all your
morphin'
hands.
time?
Yeah.
I don't remember what they said.
Let me try to remember.
It's fucking time.
It wasn't it's fucking time. Oh, they've all put their hands together because I was complimenting them on their outfits, and then they said, wait, you have to see this. So they brought all of the Power Rangers came together. They put their hands in the middle, and then they said, together we come to, wait, what was it? As a team, we come together.
That's funny.
something about coming together.
That's funny.
It was cute though.
So that sets up the story of tonight. We went to the main party, which was at Studio B. We danced for a while, and then DJ Life of Spice was DJing at Dazzles.
And at this point, all of our friends were in the same area. Like we
on the
were
dance
all
floor, yeah.
together in Studio B.
Mm-hmm.
And then Life of Spice started. And I wasn't flirting that much with them at this point.
No, I flirted with her a little bit when we got back to Dazzles the second time, because we went back to Dazzles, and then that's when like all of the craziness started to ensue. Was the second time at Dazzles. I flirted with Molly at Dazzles the second time. I don't know, just being like flirty and fun. And then this night's crazy because, and I don't know where I want to include this, because that night we were making out with all these other people, but that actually turned, and there was some really good stuff that happened then, but that actually turned into the other story time. And so I feel like we should skip off on that. Whenever we record that next podcast, we'll put in that stuff. And so
I know, this sounds confusing. Okay, so we're just going to forget about that part. So we were flirting with some other couples, and that turned out to be a different story time. So instead, this is going to be towards the end of the night.
Yeah. But but it's important that you know that, because you had to tell the story about I was making out with a girl before
that's
you
true.
asked. You had to know that there was some things going on in the background so we could really paint the picture for you. So let's skip all the rest of the stuff that happened and go to the part where I am making out with this girl that I'm not going to give you any more details about, because that will be the next Storytime podcast.
But Jase was really into this girl.
Yes. Anyway, so you can tell them what happened whilst making out with this girl.
We all get to Dazzles, and we were hanging out with some other couples and some other people, and then once we dissipated from them, we moved up to our original friend group, which was all towards the front of the dance floor, and that's where our other friend DJ Life of Spice was playing. So we were all supporting him. Everybody was towards the front, and usually whenever we are dancing, we're usually towards like the front middle anyway. It's just a fun place to be. So I'm up there with everybody, and Jase is a little bit further back, like towards the middle, and he's talking to this very sexy woman who we wanted to get to know more later on. There's just not enough time, so many people. And so I'm seeing Jase flirt with her and do his thing over there, and during this time I'm over towards the front, and Carmen asks me if you and I want to go to an orgy, if we want to, and she was like, hey, we're having an orgy with this XXXXX people, and if you guys want to come, like, you guys are welcome to come. And so the thing with Jase and I is, okay, we typically are the orgy coordinators. Mm-hmm. And typically we don't really enjoy, or so we didn't think we did. So we don't usually go to orgies unless we know everybody and are completely interested in everybody. And Carmen knew this because we had already talked about this before, and she was inviting two couples that she knew we didn't really know that much yet, and she didn't even know if we were really into them. And we knew like the other couples going. So there was there were two couples that she wasn't sure about with us, and I was like, okay, well, let me talk to Jase about it at first, of course. And so at this point, one of those couples was Chris and Molly. And we knew that we were interested in Chris and Molly at this point already. We just hadn't had the time to really get to know them yet. And so we knew that they were going to be there, and we knew Carmen and Jasper were going to be there. We wanted to play with them. There were other couples that we knew that we enjoyed. So I was waiting to tell you this. And so it's just funny because I felt like a wing woman, because I'm standing kind of towards the front, off to the side, waiting for Jase to finish making out with this woman that he is very attracted to before I pull him to the side to ask if he wants to go to an orgy. It was just such a funny scenario.
Yeah, I agree.
And this whole night, like, I was rooting for Jase to make out with this very sexy woman. So, and I didn't know if it was going to happen. So he was really putting in the flirt game there. Mm-hmm. And oh my gosh, we'll tell you in the next story time, but the things that she was saying to Jase was...
Yeah, there was two, and I was like, I'm going to make out with these two girls tonight. And I did, both the Dazzles. And that'll be in the next story time. Yep.
So, also during this time, while I was waiting for Jase to finish, Jasper, we're kind of standing kind of next to each other, and Jasper and I feel like we have a lot of sexual chemistry, and we haven't seen each other in like so long, so we actually hadn't been able to but we hadn't really flirted that much during the first few days of the cruise. And I'm standing there waiting for Jase, and then he comes over to me, and then he starts kissing my neck. And so at this point, I still don't really even know if I even wanted to go to the orgy yet, because we like didn't know everybody. But I'm not gonna lie, whenever Jasper came over, and then we were making out and we were dancing, and that kind of pulled me towards, well, maybe we should go. Even if we just do stuff
My
with
boy
Carmen.
Jasper. My man. So it's funny because I didn't know, like when I was making out with her, the other woman, I didn't even know these talks were going on, right? And so it was so funny to get pulled out of this like heavy makeout sesh that I've been, not get pulled out, but like leave it, right? Exit it. And you'd be like, hey, by the way, do you want to go to an orgy with this people, these people, these people, these people?
In addition, because I forgot about this part until just now too, whenever you must have been doing your thing with her for a long time because there was a lot of stuff happening. But also during this time, me, Carmen, and another wife were all talking because we knew that there was a group of 6 of us who wanted to play sometime during the cruise, but we didn't know when. And one of the couples has like a very busy schedule. So during this time, I don't know how it came about, but Jasper and Carmen and this other couple we are very, very close to. So we knew we wanted to play, and I was like, I've never been airtight.
Oh, I forgot that was this night.
And so I asked Carmen, I was like, Carmen, have you ever been airtight? And she said, not with 3 men, because she's done it with like toys before, like two guys and toys, or one guy and toys. And so she's like, no, I haven't. And then the other wife, she said she had it, and she said so she couldn't because her husband has very, very large dick. And so they don't get to do anal very much because it's difficult for them to do anal. It's painful for them to do anal. And I was thinking, okay, well, let me talk to Jase because we're very close to this other couple. And I was like, Jase and I don't really ever do anal. We're not big anal people. However, for fantasies and for something that, we haven't tried that we're wanting to try, we are open to doing anal. And so I said, well, maybe, because Jase loves you, maybe he'll do it in your ass. And then your husband can do it somewhere else. And I was like, let me go ask him first, though. And so then that was the other thing that I had to ask you. So you came back and I like launched these 2 things. I was just like, do you want to go to an orgy? Also, will you fuck her in the ass?
Also, every time you tell this story, I feel like you make it sound like I have a small dick because you were like,
oh no, Jase does not have a small dick. That's so true. I don't mean it in that way. Her husband just has an abnormally large dick.
yeah, Coke bottle dick.
Yeah, it's too. Jase has
like it'd probably make an ass uncomfortable as well, just not as uncomfortable, okay?
You were okay. Jase's dick feels good in an ass. See, the other dick is painful on the ass. So that's what I'm saying. Not that it doesn't feel good because it's small. How do I say this?
It's just funny. My dick is nice sized. It's just funny that every time you say it, it makes it sound like that. And so I'm gonna clarify for myself here. There's many people that can attest that it's a nice size, but it's just not a fucking literal. It's not as big as his. I'll say that. So anyway,
I mean, like his dick is the size that it is even. Whenever we have plans to play with him, I'm like, oh goodness, like, oh gosh. So that's what I mean by that.
Yeah. So it was.
Oh gosh, in a, I don't know. I had to prepare myself for this kind of way. Not oh gosh, as in a ooh. I couldn't take that every day. That's what I'm trying to say.
You gotta meditate.
Even with meditation, I couldn't do it.
So we're gonna jump forward, and you asked me. We talked about it, and we were like, we know all these people, and I know that some of them we don't know quite as well. But I think in an orgy, it's not like when you go to an orgy, it's not like you have to play with everybody there. Yeah. And that shouldn't be something that you feel like, oh, we're going to an orgy. That means we have to play with everybody.
And it's not. I just know usually whenever we are the orchestrators, typically we like to orchestrate it in a way that everybody there is interested in each other.
Yeah.
Just so the play dynamic is I guess, easier to navigate in that sense.
Like,
but,
we'll ask the couple, be like, hey,
We'll ask
we're
every couple.
yeah, well, like, we're like into this other couple that I think you guys know, and we're friends. Are you into them? And then we'll ask, and like, so we'll make, like, in the ones that we normally orchestrate, like Bella said, we normally know that everybody is into everybody.
Yeah.
But I thought that this one sounded fun because there was so many people that we already knew, and then some new people that we didn't know that well, but we were, knowing,
Interested in,
yeah, and so we were like, and I said, you don't have to play with everybody, and that's totally fine, right? And so I was like, we should go ahead and go. And I think it'd be fun to do and, like, see if we like that, right? And so the plan was to meet at Carmen and Jasper's room in, like, 15 minutes or whatever it was. Everyone had to kind of, go their separate ways to get things or whatever it was.
Yeah, cleaned up, get ready.
Yeah. And so we meet at Carmen and Jasper's room. We're the first one there because we're always the first ones there because we're just like
we like to be on time.
Yeah, or even early sometimes.
Yeah.
And so we get there, and Carmen and Jasper are like, okay, two of the other couples aren't coming because of X, Y, and Z reasons, but Chris and Molly are coming, and so they'll be here soon, and so it's going to be the 6 of us. And at this point, we're like, well, you know what? We were really into Chris and Molly. We said we're really into Carmen and Jasper, so I feel like it's going to be a really fun grouping of people.
It ended up being, I think, working out really, really well because we knew that we were interested in Chris and Molly too already, and it just kind of fell in our lap, I guess.
Yeah, I agree.
And also, I don't know if you knew this, but Carmen and Jasper, I don't think they'd played with Chris and Molly before either. I think this was their first time.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did know that. I knew that.
Even though they were friends last time.
Yeah, I think last time they, like, wanted to, but it didn't happen or didn't work out or whatever it was. So I think I had talked to Jasper, I think was the one who had told me that they had.
And before Chris and Molly got there, it was just the 4 of us. And I was laying on the bed, and it was really late at this point. It was like maybe 1 a.m., 2 a.m., and we don't typically, I guess, play like this late, but we wanted to have, the experience. It sounded fun. And so we get in there, and I lay on the bed, and Jasper comes over, and he's doing some foreplay with me. And at this point, I felt like a little bit just funny because I was really into what he was doing. And we were kissing, and he was like kissing my neck. And it was getting me really hot and bothered, but then I was looking over, and you and Carmen were just, like, chilling on the couch, like, just talking and hanging out. And so I was like, I don't know, I feel bad. Like, I don't think that we should, like, completely start yet. And so, like, while we were waiting for Chris and Molly to come, all of that was happening.
This podcast is brought to you by us, Bella and Jase. If you're going on a vacation, or maybe you have a gift that you want to give your other lifestyle friends and you're looking for lifestyle clothing, we have the best apparel on the market for you. We have not only clothing, bikinis, swimsuits, we have backpacks, tumblers, cups, anything that you can name, we probably have it. You can find that at foreplay.com/shop.
Let's say you're at a party, you're going on vacation, things are moving a little bit slow. Maybe you want some conversation to flow. Maybe you want to move stuff towards play. Well, we have the perfect game for you. It's called Foreplay the Game. It is a digital and physical lifestyle icebreaker game, and you can find out all about it at foreplay.com/games. That's number 4, OURPLAY.com/games.
If you don't have a lifestyle vacation planned, a resort or a cruise planned, why not? You can join us. You can find that at foreplay.com/playcation. We have not only information about the events and trips that we'll be on this year, but also other options for you as well. And it doesn't cost any extra for you to book through our links, but helps us a lot, helps us continue to be able to make this type of content for you. Now back to the show.
So I was about to get up, and then he did this thing where I had my t-shirt on still, I think, at this point. I don't know. He made me forget what happened. Like, I don't know if I was wearing clothes or not at this point, but I was about to leave, and he was like, wait, come back. And then he started kissing up my back, or doing something up my back, or nibbling up my back, and then up into my neck, and then we started kissing, and I was like, ooh, I liked that. That was really hot. And that is what got me really, really turned on to, like, start the night. Jasper just started all of it because I don't even know if we would have went to the orgy if he hadn't done that on the dance floor.
Yeah.
Good job, Jasper.
Nice job, Jasper. And then then we always talk about this, like in the lifestyle, you learn stuff because like then after we got back, you had told me about that story, and then I kissed up your back, and you like really enjoyed it, and so it's nice to like.
Well, actually, I had to ask him. So and this was after we like came back from the cruise. I asked him, I was like, hey, what did you do to my back that night? And then he told me, and I was like, hey, will you do that to me?
Yeah, you asked me to do that to you.
Yeah.
And so I said, it's cool because, I don't know, I've kissed, I feel like, all over your body and at random times or certain things, but you'll learn something like, we didn't know you liked being kissed up your back. Normally, like, I know you like being kissed on your neck a lot.
Yeah.
But, like, your back isn't an area, and, like, sometimes I feel like you get ticklish places or stuff like that. Like, I feel like your back is the area I would normally avoid. So
I didn't know I
exactly.
even liked it. Yeah.
And so that's like, it's interesting because like you'll learn things about yourself, right, as a new, or your partner that are things that you can like incorporate into
you and
your
partner's
sex life, which I think is cool. And so
that's how we got into choking.
Yeah, and so so yeah, that was cool. And I remember Chris and Molly showed up, and then me and you went into the restroom together. Leaving the restroom together, Molly and Carmen sucking Jasper's dick. So they were like, he was standing almost towards the back of the room, like where their balcony would have been, and like both of their asses were up sucking his dick. And that's like when the night, it kind of just like started fast. Like there was no games, there was no anything. Like it just started at that point.
Yeah.
So I went over and I went behind Molly, and I took Molly's panties off. Both said, because you asked me about it later, and you're like, her pussy is so, I don't know, how do you describe it? It's so like easy to see, like how it's
just a pretty pussy.
It's so
prominent,
pretty. Yeah.
And it's like a porn pussy.
Yeah, and it's just like at every angle where her body moves, I feel like you can just like see her pussy so like easily, and it's so sexy.
Yeah.
And you had mentioned it to me earlier, and then later afterwards, because I had said the same thing. So I remember like pulling her panties down. I was like, oh my god, her pussy is just so pretty. Like it's so pretty and just sexy. I did forget to mention, when I took her panties off, I went and I like laid them on the couch because clothes get lost so
What a
easily
gentleman.
in orgies. And I also remember Chris was over there, and he was taking his clothes off and folding them and like putting them nicely in, because I took my clothes off and folded them and put them nicely. So I put everything on the couch nicely so that whenever everyone was done, everyone knew where their clothes were. And so I didn't want to like make her lose her panties. Like they were a cute pair of panties, so I went and took them over the couch and put them on there so they were
That is so nice of you.
nice.
I didn't do
And
that.
that's okay.
I think I throw them off, but I tried to throw them in the same area. I think I put them in the corner, but I don't fold it nicely.
I just lost too many things to like,
That makes sense.
you know.
I didn't have that many things. I think I just
That's
had
true.
panties
That's
and a
true.
t-shirt.
So that's pretty, you can just wad those up and throw them together. All right. And so do you want me to go and talk about what I was doing with her first, or do you want me to say where you
go
were?
first.
Okay. So after I took her panties off, put them away, I started eating her out, and she's so sexy and cute, and I feel like we had flirted a little bit earlier in that night, and so I was just really into her. And so
Also, she had a Sailor Moon outfit on.
She did
and
have a Sailor
that
Moon.
is an extra 10 points to
Yeah,
begin with.
yeah, it was great. And then after I ate her out, she started sucking my dick, and she's really good at sucking dick, and she really like works the balls and everything. Like she really just goes all over with it, and it was super sexy because
The works.
yeah, like I feel like people, when they give you, there's always just different blowjobs, right? And I love all of them, but it's always like fun to see when people do stuff differently. Like I feel like some people focus on more areas more than others, but like she really like played with your balls a lot, and yeah, it was just a really.
Did she suck them? What did
She
do
sucked
with
them, and she like give you like a hand job while she sucked them, or she would like touch them while she sucked your dick, or she just was getting everyone involved down there. You know what I mean? Like all the parts were getting involved. I know that at this point you were with Chris, and I remember looking over, and Carmen and Jasper were on the couch. The layout of this room had like a big couch, or I guess it's it's like a small couch, I guess, and there's a bed next to it.
Yeah.
And so they were over on their couch, which is kind of funny because they weren't even on their
I know.
bed.
They put down some sheets and she was squirting everywhere over
Yeah.
there.
So what were you doing when I was getting the works on that blowjob and eating Molly out?
So me and Chris were together at this point. So Chris is over to the side of the bed and I go over and we start making out, and then he's kind of standing off the bed a little bit, so then I get on the bed and I'm sucking his cock and giving him a blowjob. Not doing as much of the works as his wife would do. I wasn't sucking his balls.
But your technique feels so good. It's just, I said everyone just has their thing, you know.
And as I'm doing this and giving him a blowjob and going to town, I ask how he wants me, and then he puts me into doggy. And I really like having a toy whenever I'm in doggy position. It's like my favorite way to, it's the easiest way for me to come to in this way. However, I did not have my trusty vibrator, the one that always gets me there personally. It's like the perfect size too, but Carmen let me use hers. Also, I didn't say this yet either, but Carmen and Jasper are the most amazing hosts when it comes to, like, they had all of their toys laid out.
You have assortments of condoms.
Yes, assortments of the condoms. They had a drawer of snacks.
Everything.
And so before we even started playing, she kind of gave us a tour a little bit. She was like, if you need this, it's over here. If you need this, it's over here. And this is over here. Whenever we were there with them, we got extra sheets and extra pillow, or not extra pillows, extra towels and everything. And so amazing hosts.
Yeah.
And so
5-star Airbnb review.
yeah. So she had toys, and she had a magic wand, like the Hitachi one, and she gave that to me to use. Holy shit, that thing was way too big, and I couldn't quite get the positioning right. So I was trying to use it, but then it didn't end up working out. But it was still fun. I mean, it was still hot. So he was fucking me doggy, and then I look over and I see Jase was fucking Molly doggy now.
Yeah, I had kind of moved her over closer to you guys, so she was towards the edge of the bed now too, and I started fucking her doggy, and I remember she wears glasses sometimes, and I remember fucking her, and her glasses fell off like onto the floor. And
Have your glasses ever fell off during?
I don't wear glasses during sex.
Well, like with me, I don't
I don't
your
think they've ever
glasses have
fallen off. No.
But you're also not the one getting fucked.
Yeah,
So
and she
then
was
it's
also like leaning forward with her head kind of down, like kind of towards off the bed.
Yeah.
And so, but I know her vision is bad without them. And so I know things got fuzzy after that, but it was still really funny. And I was like, oh my God, your glass. She's like, it's okay. So he just kept going. And then you were kind of like under us. Like, I don't know how you got there or where you moved, but
I got into missionary, and so then
Okay.
I was able to get under and making out with her, licking her nipples, making out with you.
Yeah.
There was a lot of things going
Choking
on.
her.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I was choking her.
Yeah,
Yes,
you
yes,
were.
yes.
Yeah, like I was choking you. Like it was just that fun.
And I was getting eaten out
Yeah,
while I
just
was getting
like
fucked by her
everything
husband.
going on.
Who is super hot, by the way. See, we can't really get into the specifics of how people look just to protect their privacy and everything. Just know that they're hot.
Yeah. All you're
They're
getting
hot
is
and they're
that
sexy.
Molly's pussy's very
got a
visible
porn
and pretty,
pussy.
and you can see she has glasses sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes she has glasses.
That's as much as we can give you.
Also, before we started fucking, he was putting his condom on, but he was kind of having some trouble getting the condom on. And I go, you're just so big. You're just too big. It was really funny.
It's true though. That guy
he did have a
also
really big
have
dick.
like a wouldn't want it in your ass type of dick, like that large,
Yes.
like massive dick as well. I started fucking Molly missionary.
What it in your ass type dick is really. But you're the Goldilocks of
of dicks.
Yeah, it's not too big, not too small, just right.
It's just right.
Just right.
In any hole. All of them.
At the same time.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna make sense. So I started fucking Molly missionary up towards the top of the bed, and she's crazy flexible. Like I remember like pushing.
She's like a yogi or something.
I remember like pushing her legs up. I was like, just kept going, and like she just was like, and so her legs were almost like over her head while I was fucking her missionary.
Yeah.
And she was like having me push them. Like she liked to be contorted, and it was sexy. It was really sexy. And then I gave her. I started fingering her, and making out with her, and then there was a vibrator on the bed. I don't know if it was Carmen's. I don't know where it came from. It magically appeared.
She had a lot of vibrators.
It was like in Harry Potter, the Room of Requirement. Like you need it, it's gonna be there. And so it just showed up. And so, oh no, it's like when he pulled the sword out that had a Gryffindor, and it just was there because he was a true Gryffindor. So I just pulled.
You're a true.
I'm a true
sex
orgy.
man.
I'm a true orgy. Man.
man.
And so I just pulled the vibrator out of nowhere, out of thin air, like Houdini.
A wizard.
Yeah.
An orgy wizard. A sex wizard.
And so
What house is that?
what house is that?
What house is Griffin whore?
Exactly.
That's what I thought.
That was good. And so I gave her the vibrator, and then I was fingering her and making out with her, and like letting her use the vibrator however she wanted. And then she was like grabbing my dick and kind of giving me a hand job while I was fingering her and making out with her. And then she came, and it was just super sexy.
Hot. I was still with Chris at this time, and we were going at it, fucking like rabbits. And then you and Molly had stopped fucking, but Molly was kind of laying on her back, and
That's how I finished with the vibrator and fingering her. She was on her back for that.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Okay. So she was on her back, and, well, her husband was fucking me from behind. So then I come over, and then I start eating her out. And then Jase comes over, and then he and I start eating her out together. And he's kissing her thigh, and then I remember she was laying there, and then as he started kissing her thigh, she was like, oh my God, who is that? That's my, like, sweet spot or something. Like, that's what, like, I really like. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's my man.
It's Jase. That's me. That's my area. Do you remember that?
This is my area.
That's my space. That's my area.
That was this area. And we're eating her out. I'm fingering her as we're both doing it together. And then she comes. And then during this time, I'm getting eaten out and fingered by Chris. And he's really good at that. He really uses, like, all of his tongue. You know what I mean, ladies? Whenever it's, like, all up from the front to the back.
And then at this point, we kind of all took a little bit of a break for a second, and I went over, and then I was with Carmen. And Carmen went on, like, we were on the floor, and there was a sheet on the floor. And I remember you and Jasper were up on the couch.
Yeah.
I couldn't really see you very much because she was riding me, and so she was almost like blocking my vision of like what you guys were doing. But she rode me, and we really didn't switch positions at all. She rode me for a long time while she used her vibrator, and she did that until she came. And it was really sexy. The one funny thing is I was laying on the ground. She's like, you comfortable? And I was like, the floor's like the most comfortable, but it's sexy, so like it's worth it, you know? And then she grabbed a pillow off of
She asked me.
She got it from you?
Because I was getting fucked doggy, and then there was a pillow right there, and she was like, Bella, can you hand me that pillow?
Yeah, and then she gave it to me. I put it on my head, and I was
Aw.
so much more comfortable. Because I said, we were on the ground for a while, like
Yeah.
a long while, and it was comfortable. But I will say, if I would have never had a pillow, it would not have been as comfortable. But she rode me for a really long time until she came. But so I couldn't see like what you guys were doing over there.
So me and Jasper were together at this point, and I was pretty excited to start getting with Jasper because it's been a while since we fucked, and I said that to him too, which I think is kind of hot because we were making out, and I was like, oh, it's been a long time since we fucked, 2 years, something like that. And so we're on the couch, and he fucks me missionary, and he's doing that for a while, and I feel like we have a lot of eye contact and stuff. I move his hand over so he can choke me. I really like that. So we're doing that for a while. And at this point, I want to be in doggy, so I get over and we're kind of sideways on the couch. He's fucking me doggy, and that's when I'm giving the pillow over to you, but I can't see you here either. And I feel like usually we can like really see each other, but we were pretty separate
It was
at
the
this point.
angles, yeah. Like we were close to each other.
Because we were like diagonal.
Yeah,
so I was facing. Your head was facing up on the ceiling.
I was seeing the ceiling.
Yeah, and I was like
And
looking
Carmen.
out toward
Yeah, so.
In Carmen?
No, I could see Carmen in the ceiling.
Oh, yeah.
That was
And then we switch again, and I get on top of him, and I'm fucking him on top, and I take my boobs, and I start suffocating him with my boobs.
Oh.
But, like, in a hot way, you know?
I
Like,
love when
and
that
I was, like,
happens.
motorboating him.
That's
suck my nipples.
Yeah, I love when that happens.
Death
You
by
do that to
boob
me
suffocation.
sometimes when you'll be riding me, and then you'll just, like, stick him in my face. I'm just like,
Sometimes I feel like a wrestler when I do that. I don't know why. You see what I just feel like if I
shit,
was
I would have wrestled.
a
if
WWE
that-
wrestler, that's what I would do. I would take my boob and suffocate people in between them. Your face right now.
I just
I'm not
don't
like
know
I
what
don't
to
think
say.
you don't know this about me.
I have a boner.
But when I when I do that, I feel like a wrestler.
Wow.
I think oh, if I was a wrestler, this would be my move.
That's great. I mean,
What should my wrestler name be? I gotta think about that. I'll come back to you guys.
okay.
Anyway. I kind of slither down to the ground, and I'm between his legs, and I'm like sucking his cock. I just
like
did
the
like
hand motion. Goit, goit.
yeah. If this was on video, you could see me doing the actual action.
But it's
I'm doing
on
the glug
video,
glug. Yeah,
so-
I know. I said if it was.
If it was, yeah.
So yeah, we did like four or five positions while you were on the floor.
I told
Yeah,
you, we
wow.
were there for a
Yeah.
while. Normally I'd describe what was happening, but I did. And then at this point, me and you went back over to the bed. And I feel like every time, it's always interesting to me. I feel like whenever I'm with somebody else, I'm like more observant of like what things are happening during like just looking around. But I feel like most of the time, whenever me and you are fucking in like an orgy, I have no clue what's going on with anybody else.
Yeah.
It's like I lock in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's because we're in love.
Yeah, that's cute. And so we went back to the bed. You started sucking my dick, and then you started riding me, which is how we normally start an orgy, actually, or start like a play
Yeah,
session.
we
But
usually
you were
start
sucking my
together.
dick, and you were riding me, and I fucked you missionary and doggy. We just did a bunch of different positions, and everyone else was doing something. I don't know.
I saw Chris fisting Carmen. Yeah. And then, so
Okay.
they were. It was very wet. I hear a lot of wet sounds, and I'm looking over, and he's going really fast. His whole it's like a fuck machine. You know what I mean? And he was. I'm like doing it now, but yeah, his whole hand was
I
in there,
didn't
and
know his whole hand was in there. I remember that's
I don't
crazy.
think I knew until the next day, because I thought that maybe it was just like most of his fingers, but it was either later that night or the next day. Carmen said that he was fisting
Yeah.
her. I was like, damn.
I didn't. I saw him putting in the work, and I saw the like
Yeah.
the motor bunny of a man, but I didn't know his whole fist was in there. I just thought he was a couple fingers deep. That is crazy.
And
Wow.
Jasper and Molly were on the couch, and you and I were fucking, and her it was like a right angle.
Oh yeah, she was
'Cause
she was almost on her shoulders.
Yeah.
With her legs like above him, like hanging on. This sounds like a stupid way to describe it, but you know, like whenever you have those door hangers that you put over a door that you hold shoes with, and they have those little metal bars that like hold over the top. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
that's
So a
what her
right
legs
angle.
looked like.
Oh.
Like they were wrapped around him, almost like she was like hanging upside down.
But they were fucking. Now that I'm thinking about it, how did they even do that?
I don't. They were though.
Yeah, I mean, I know we
He
both
was
saw,
like
we
fucking
witnessed
down in her while her legs were like up and like she was like almost on her shoulder. It was wild.
It was crazy.
It was wild.
And then after we finished fucking, you and I, we were just laying on the bed, kind of like towards like the corner of the bed. And then the other couples came over, and then we pretty much got our own porn show. Because they were swapped. And they were all on the bed, and they were fucking so rough.
Yeah.
I just remember my jaw was just down like the whole time. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
And there was so much moaning, and like, ooh, it was really hot.
Yeah.
And it was so many wet sounds.
Yeah. It was sexy. It was sexy. It was just a really sexy night. And it was one of those things where, looking back, like, I'm glad that we went ahead and went to something that we were like, I wasn't uncomfortable at all, but it was like, maybe that wasn't like my normal orgy I would go to originally, right? Like with the amount of people that were going to be there, not knowing everybody super well. And so it ended up being a good segue into actually the next night, or not next night, I think it was 2 nights later, the next story time was another orgy where we didn't know everybody. And that kind of, I think, opened my eyes to that a little bit. So
yeah, we're stepping out of our comfort zone.
Yeah, or now the
sometimes
comfort
it's-
zone is growing, and then it's just more comfortable.
And not saying that you have to do that. Like,
No.
obviously, if you're not comfortable with that, don't do it. But this is just something we didn't know if we would be into or what if we would like it. But then it ended up working out.
And you see that's crazy after a decade, right? Like
Yeah,
still trying new things, and sometimes you try new things and maybe you don't like them, and then
Yeah.
you don't have to do them again. And the important thing is that, like, we had the conversation before saying that, hey, like, I'm willing to try this. Do you want to try this? Yes. If it doesn't work out in a way, then that's something we know in the future we won't go to again. And we're adults with free will, so if we are uncomfortable with the situation, then we'll just
Of course, yeah,
leave
just
and just
leave.
be like, you guys keep having fun, but because of this, whatever it is, and then
Which we did before, too.
Yeah, so there's
in
no
a
no worry of it turning into something that you don't want to be in, right? But it ended up being something really fun, and yeah, so that's just like it was like a fun learning lesson as well as just like a fun experience, which I feel like there hasn't been that many like most of our experiences have just been fun experiences, but I haven't like learned like a lesson like that, like a new step in a while. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
I wouldn't say we learned a lesson or anything, though. We were just open to the idea, but then it ended up just working out in our favor.
I guess I learned I liked something.
What do you mean?
Like, I didn't know if I liked going to an orgy where I didn't know everybody, right?
But it ended up not being like that.
But then the next night we'd had that conversation and we went.
Oh, okay.
Like in the
You're
other
saying,
story,
yes,
we
okay.
ended up going to the other one, and I think I was more open-minded because of that.
That's true.
And so that's what I'm saying.
I see what you mean.
So you guys have to come back for the next story time to
Yes.
understand that.
And then typically after we have an experience like this, we would all go get food together, but it was like so late at this point that, well, the buffet was already closed, and then Jase was actually so smart.
Yeah, earlier I had so we had that 15-20 minutes in between when we were left Dazzles and we were going to Carmen and Jasper's room. We need to go to our room. I was like, why don't we take the 5 minutes right now, run down, get some pizza before it closes, bring the pizza back up to our room, because we need to go to our room anyway. And then that way when we leave, we have pizza sitting waiting in our room. And so we literally got back from the orgy, came to our room, and then we had pizza just waiting there for us. And we didn't have to, like, go wait in line. It was just there.
Exactly.
We had some water there. Like, it was all prepared for us. And I was like, wow, I am good.
Self-care.
Yeah, Jesus
Jason's
Christ,
really
it's
smart.
Jason Bourne.
Wait, what?
I don't know. It didn't really make sense. I just always wanted to say it. Anyway, yeah, then we had pizza, and it was just a really great night, and it was really fun, and the memories are great, and yeah. So shout out to my boy Jasper for getting this all started.
Yes, thank you, Jasper and Carmen, for orchestrating, and Jasper, thank you for getting me in the mood to even want to come.
Yep, there we go.
Come in more ways than one.
So we're now jumping at Bella and Jase's Weekly Obsessions. Why don't you go first?
Okay, my first obsession is at Sprouts in the bulk section. You can get this,
Which is like
candy.
a little, like a...
Oh, Sprouts is a
like a
grocery
Whole
store.
Foods type, yeah, like
Yeah.
where you get stuff in bulk. So if you don't have Sprouts in your area, it's something like that.
Well, it's not everything is in bulk, but it's just like it's a normal grocery store, but they also have a bulk section. So,
But it's more like a not just like a normal grocery store. I feel like they try to do more like healthy foods, and they have different types of foods there. It's not like a Walmart. It's not like a large.
yeah.
It feels different to me. It's like a Whole Foods type thing.
Yeah, a Whole Foods type place.
Yeah.
That's what Sprouts is.
So anyone who didn't know, I just wanted to paint a picture, okay?
Well, at Sprouts, in the bulk section, they have candy. And I saw this. I was really craving I always love, like, gummy candies. And for some reason, I was like, you know what? I'm going to try this with licorice. I don't really even like licorice. But I was kind of in the mood. So they had this licorice, and it was called Australian licorice. And I was like, what is that? So I tried it. And let me tell you guys, it is the best texture gummy-ish candy, I wouldn't say ever, but definitely in the top 5. And it is so delicious. And the ones at Sprouts, it's not too overly, like, artificially sweet, I guess you could say. It probably is kind of artificial, but it tastes better than, definitely tastes better than Twizzlers or any of that. It doesn't taste like completely like plastic, and it is so good. And they have a couple different flavors. There's like a cherry and a green apple and a citrus, and
I totally agree.
it's so good.
Yeah, you like made me try it, and you didn't make me. You asked me if I
Yeah.
wanted to, and I was like,
Damn.
"Whoa,
Right?
This is good."
So definitely recommend going to try some Australian licorice. And then when I was sick, all I could do was watch shows. And so my other obsessions are Summer I Turned Pretty. We watched both seasons of that in like one sitting. Well, it took like a couple of days.
Yeah.
So not one sitting, but whenever I was awake and we were doing, and I had enough energy to put my brain to work just to watch a show, we watched the Summer I Turned Pretty, and I didn't know if I was really gonna like it at first, but the characters really grew on me, and I ended up really liking the show. But even more so, one of my new favorite shows ever now, it's called Shrinking, and it's on Apple TV. Summer I Turned Pretty is on Prime, and oh my gosh, Shrinking is so good. It gives the kind of same vibe as Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
But it's with a therapist. But it's with it surrounds the characters who they're therapists, and oh, it's just so good. I definitely recommend to go watch it. It's so heartwarming, but then also heart-wrenching, and I cried so hard just in the first episode. And
It's like Ted Lasso.
amazing.
It's like Ted Lasso in that sense of it's like you said, it's very uplifting, but at the same time, like, it emotionally pulls you in both ways. There's so many highs, so many lows, but it's a beautiful story and it feels real.
Yeah.
And there's like valuable lessons in it, and you see the hardship that like life can put on people and how different people handle things differently. And
it really makes you think of different perspectives. Perspectives in the way that you wouldn't ever think to put yourself in, and to see that portrayed on media, I think is really, really cool.
yeah, I would say it's probably one of Ted Lasso is like, as far as like normal, I guess it's a sitcom type show goes, Ted Lasso is my favorite, and this is probably my second favorite show ever. If it's I love Impractical Jokers and some like random stuff like that, but like as far as like a sitcom goes, I think this and Ted Lasso, I think Shrinking and Ted Lasso are the best two, in my opinion. So
I wish I could watch it for the first time again. Oh, it's
I
so
would
good.
rewatch it, even knowing,
I know.
like, in lots of shows I don't rewatch.
Yeah.
But I would rewatch it. So
They're
great
short
obsession.
too.
Yeah.
Like they're like less than 30 minutes, so it's easy to watch.
Yeah, I think we watched all 2 seasons in 2, maybe 3 days. I think we saved 1 or 2 episodes for the third day, but you guys should watch Shrinking. It's awesome.
What's your obsessions?
I have 2. One is the movie Anora. I heard about Nora, and I heard it was good, and then this was before it got nominated for Oscars and everything, and then I was like, let's watch it. I didn't know what it was about. I fucking loved Anora so much. I thought everything about it was incredible. It's funny, but I don't even know how to describe it. It's just
artistically beautiful.
yeah,
too.
it's shot beautifully. Mikey Madison, who is like the main girl in it, like, I feel like she hasn't really been in a lot of stuff. She's incredible.
Yeah.
Like, incredible. She deserves all of like the accolades she's getting from this movie. And I would say it may be my favorite movie of 2024, if not top 2 or 3 favorite movies of 2024. I just wish I could have seen it in theaters, but our theater that we normally go to didn't show it. But it just incredible. You should watch Anora, because it'll make your life better. It's just so good.
It is really good.
And my last obsession is, This is one I would have never thought. Addison Rae from TikTok all those years ago makes music now, and Diet Pepsi by Addison Rae is such a fucking smash and a half of a song. I liked it when it first came out, but the more I've listened to it, the more I like it. And I just never thought, when Addison Rae started making music, I never just thought that it would be like this. And I love Diet Pepsi. Like, that song is so good.
She has that one song with Charlie XCX that we really liked too.
Yeah. I said, I'm so impressed. Like, it really is. Like, she's extremely talented. And I just wouldn't have. I feel like so many people that whenever they come from like social media, like lots of time they'll make stuff and like it's good, but like this to me like feels like she's a musician first. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think it's as good as you think it is.
I love that
but
song.
It is a really good song. It's fun. It's poppy. It's Britney Spears-ish, I guess, in that sense. I like the direction that she went with it. It's a bit more sexy grunge, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
The creative direction was with Lexi Smith, who we really liked her as she was a dancer in a lot of Charli XCX's music videos, and she just has that cool weird girl vibe.
Yeah, she's
like cool
weird
internet
sexy
girl. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's awesome. So Diet Pepsi, that song I really, really enjoyed. So that's my weekly obsessions.
Awesome.
And that's the story time. And
that's kind of all over the place. So sorry if it was kind of crazy. But
and you know what? I'm just glad after neither one of us being able to talk for 2 months.
Yeah.
I'm just glad we got to talk again and just be able to film one. It was super fun. Thank you guys so much for listening to this podcast. And yeah, we'll go ahead and hit you with the outro. Bye.
If you'd like to support the show, you can leave us a 5-star review wherever you're listening to our podcast. All our information will be listed in the show notes below and on our website, fourplay.com. That's number 4, OURPLAY.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel where we make videos and vlogs about the swinging lifestyle. Head to fourplay.com/YouTube to watch and subscribe. We have the ultimate adult party game for the sexually inclined called Foreplay the Game that's both digital and physical. It's perfect for breaking the ice and spicing up any party. You can find more information at foreplay.com/games. We also have the best swinger lifestyle, kinky, and adult humor clothing and accessories that you can find at foreplay.com/shop. If you're looking to plan a lifestyle destination, booking through our links at foreplay.com/travel really helps support the show and helps us be able to continue to create this type of content for you. We're on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, and more. You can find all our current social media accounts at foreplay.com/socials, and I have an OnlyFans, which you can find at onlyfans.com/BellaLunaVIP. We also have a Facebook group and Discord community and would love for you to join us. You can find the direct links in the show notes below. Lastly, we're on STC and Cassidy at Foreplay, and you can get a free full membership trial by using our link. You can email us at hello@foreplay.com with any questions or comments, or head to foreplay.com/ask. Again, all our information will be listed in the show notes below, and we thank you so much for listening to our podcast. See you in the next one. Bye!